Hey, Shaman Ray. I never told you thank you for letting me keep my gremlins. And by the way, I do know the answer and keys to the feedback loop. But before I answer, I have to say that I do appreciate you and everything that you do to understand, suggest coping techniques, and provide insight to things that have helped me to grow and be at peace with myself. You give so much of yourself until I'm not sure you even hear it when someone says thank you. I just want to say, there's nothing wrong with allowing yourself to feel good about who you are. So while you're going the last mile trying to help everybody that you can, take a little comfort in knowing that the ones who matter don't mind, and the ones who mind don't matter. Alright, that being said, here we go. The feedback loop is a literal term that has a metaphysical application. Reality is experienced differently by each individual according to their unique experiences and trained interpretations. As we go through life, more of those interpretations begin to fall away, and we discover that some of our feelings and perceived understanding about things were not necessarily beneficial at the time, but were necessary for our growth. Your feedback loop theory is the culmination of growth meeting awareness and the acceptance of our role as either participants in our feelings or victims. The participant knows that if they are seeking positive, loving growth, they will find it everywhere. And if another participant is seeking pain, condemnation, and judgment, well, they too will find it everywhere. Thus, we are better when we are mindful and present that which we seek. That way we have it regardless of what anyone says or does. Okay, how is that?
Well, you got it. Oh my goodness. That was better than I could have explained it. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Gather round, gather round. We have one more episode here tonight, and this is episode 8 of In the Paint. And you all know that PAINT is an acronym for Positive Alliance, Inspiring Natural Talent. Now, the Alliance has been around for a long time, but we have to wait till the right time to launch this particular platform and make sure that we were ready to give it what it is that we have to you all to help you edify and sustain. Today's topic is one that I'd like to introduce and hope that you have some experience with. It is called Essence of the Eternal. Now, I know I and my family have been through moments of life where things have happened that's kind of changed the entire understanding we had of what life was, what everything represented, what everything meant. And I'm sure that you too have probably had experiences that have maybe kind of blown you away. What happens for me is I'll get to a situation or I'll be in a situation where I feel like, oh man, I'm at the end of my rope. I really don't know if there's even enough gumption to go forward. I'm questioning everything. It's like time slows down. It's like everything moving in slow motion because the situation had so much weight and meant so much to me emotionally, mentally, spiritually, everything until it caused me to feel like I had come to the end of a cliff and the only way out was to keep going. However, in moments like that, little things would happen and boy, oh boy, power-packed moments that would change everything. Comes totally unexpected, catches me off guard, catches everybody off guard, but changes the whole thing. So I'm going to give you one example about something that happened with me. When I was living in Chicago, I used to go to this Chinese garden, and I literally fell in love with this tree. It had to be the oldest, largest tree in this garden. And one of the reasons that I really liked it is because I would go like every week, and I would see that tree. And no matter what, winter, spring, summer, fall, every season I would go. And what impressed me was when I would go in the wintertime, it would look like it's gone. It never would come back to life. But every single spring for 6 straight years, and even when I go back to Chicago now, I always make it a point to go. It's my garden. That tree, every single spring, the little buds would come, and the next thing you know, she's full by summer. Biggest one in the garden. And it gave me an example of how life can be sometimes, like they say, now is the winter of our discontent. When you feel like you're going through those things that you just don't know if there's ever going to be a change or, any help, and you make it through. Well, I fell in love with this tree because it taught me that lesson. That is, I hang in there, like Linda was talking about when she was here. Hang in there and keep going, and you never know what's around the corner. But when we have our emotions or we get on our feelings and we have those experiences, baby, you can't tell us it ain't the end of the world. We never see that it's not going to always be that way. In that moment, we think this is forever. However, it's not. So I brought up the topic about the tree because one time I was going through some really, really tough times. I didn't know if I was supposed to go forward and continue living or toss in the towel and say, you know what, I'm done. I'm giving up because it just seemed just that difficult. So I went to the garden, my regular meditation spot, and I sat under this tree. I named her Essie. And for me, that stood for the essence of life. So I sat under Essie and I closed my eyes and I meditated. And I normally do about 30 minutes. Well, during my meditation, I kind of felt the need to open my eyes. And sometimes I'll hear a voice very clearly, and it'll tell me something to do. So I open my eyes, and man, oh man, when I opened those eyes, I looked up, and all of the blossoms from this tree literally seemed like they were all falling at the same time, all around me. It looked like snow, but they were spinning, and they were white, and it was so beautiful. And I sat there and cried, basically for another 30 minutes, because that message to me was, I got you. It's going to be okay. I don't know if you guys saw some things I posted on Facebook. My sister, who's going to be here next Sunday, is witnessed something similar. She picked something from her garden, and when she cut it open, you talk about a shock. It was like, a voice, a little hint of something saying, I got you. It's going to be okay. So when I talk about the essence of eternity, the eternal, I should say, what comes to my mind is, what is eternal? What does eternal mean? Now, I know we do our best as far as picking words that describe things, but we might be way off when it comes to, things of divine origin. But eternal to me is something that it lasts, it outlasts everything. It's going to be here when everything else is gone. Time doesn't exist because eternity does not have a time frame. It's forever, forever, forever. However, I think there are certain qualities about the eternal that show up in our lives. One of them was when I was sitting under that tree and meditating. To me, that represented love and care. I think that love is eternal. I do. I think truth is eternal, most definitely. I think that faith is eternal. Even though sometimes it's difficult to practice, it's eternal. I don't think it'll ever go away. We'll always have the capability to believe in something. So it's very few things now, but these things are constants. They're eternal. And when they show up, they're little hints to me that it's going to be okay. I got you. But, we have to pay attention to those things. We have to open our third eye, so to speak. We have to be in a spiritual zone, I'd like to say. I like to try to be there most of the time because I don't want to miss things. And it's worked well for me. I think music also can fall into that category. There's music being played right now, and you might not even hear it on levels where, it's rhythms like Saida talked about. There are melodies, there's stuff going on in your body right now that's making music. I think that is eternal as well. I tend to think that it's God's, first tool. I think that, the eternal, the most powerful entity, energy, uses music as a tool and like a scalpel that can get through in ways that words, sometimes books, sometimes just can't get to. We talked about that on the broadcast when she was here, how music can across the ocean. It's universal, and it can move people when nothing else will. So I do believe that music is eternal, because there's sounds in the universe right now that we can't hear, but trust me, it's going on. There's rhythms and things that are happening. So in your life, I'm sure that you've experienced some things that have given you those little hints, and I try to hold on to those. I always bookmark them in my journal, and I always remember them in my mind, and I always recall, and I always try to go back to those places where the eternal showed up and gave me the thumbs up that it's going to be okay. A lot of times we go through life and we see things and we feel like they're going to be eternal. Like I told you, when I was having troubles, and I thought troubles, it just was never going to go nowhere. How can you ever fix this? It's been too long. Oh Lord, you can never do that. But it's never too late to change. We're on a mission at the Alliance to get our houses in order, because what's happening right now is only the beginning of what we all know to be a little bit of a turbulence, so to speak, in universal trajectory. And that's why it's important for us to make sure that we're okay inside, make sure that our spirit and our spiritual walk is, one of love, faith, and those things that are eternal. In your life, you have the opportunity to do the same. Hold on to those things that are eternal. Hold on to those things that have always been there, always will be, and is right now. And those are the things that are worth investing in. Even though sometimes it's good to have physical things. Everybody likes to have, materials. Everybody likes to have, everything that they need, and sometimes things that they want. It gives us this feeling of satisfaction, and we feel like, okay, we're doing good in life. I don't do well with luxuries because they make me lazy. But I am a go-getter, so I might have some kind of project going on. But, luxuries don't really do me very well. I like having projects. I like figuring things out. I like using my mind and my imagination, my innovation, engineering, and things that I can apply to fix things, to make things better. So I don't do well with a lot of luxuries. But what I do well with, and that is peace, because I think peace is eternal. I think peace ushers in every other element, every other experience that one would need once that peace is established. So that's why I promote it, and that's why I kind of try to spend the majority of my life in a peaceful state, in one where I can be a witness and look at things and not have to always involve myself. But time, trust me, will teach us these lessons that we need to learn, particularly patience. And with patience, obviously, comes peace, because I can have peace of mind when I can sit and wait and be okay with that, But when you're talking about something that is eternal, I think of strength as well, but a silent strength. I think that when the eternal shows up, it's silent, anonymous almost, because it doesn't have a need to boast of anything. It's going to be here long after you're gone, and all of us are gone. And the power of it, that silent power, that silent presence, that anonymous almost presence, and giving to us, taking the time to show up and show out, as they say, but constantly showing us that we're loved. So the reason I wanted to talk about it is because I think if we're aware of certain things, we can welcome it more readily. And I think that the eternal, the power of the eternal, the power of that substance that will never ever change. I remember reading once that said that nothing shall ever separate me from the love of God. Nothing. And they went from top to bottom. Principalities, powers, rulers, anything physical, life nor death. Nothing can separate me from the love of God.
All right, we are almost there. Only one more week before our Big Ten celebration of our 10th anniversary. And next week, we are welcoming a diva, honey.
Let's see, a diva, huh? I don't know.
Well, I think she's a diva. She even has it on her site. You know that letsgetinthepaint.com? She has, child, listen to this, Daily Divine Dose. Honey, if that ain't the wording of a diva, my name ain't Pinky the Paintbrush. Okay, we'll see y'all next week.